"Hey," a boy says as he walks up to me, "I have a joke for you." Without waiting for a response, he continues, "Why aren't there Walmarts in Baghdad?" I begin feeling uneasy. By now, a small crowd was standing around us, watching in anticipation for the punchline that would deliver the first blow to my Muslim identity, because there's a target on every corner. With that, he walks away, laughing. I feel the blood draining from my cheeks and my heartbeat quickening. Everyone stares at me, curiously watching for my response. In a moment of discomfort and unfamiliarity, I did what was expected when someone tells a joke. I let a nervous laugh escape my lips before running off to my next class. My transition from a private Islamic school that I had attended since I was 5 to a public charter high school was as smooth as sandpaper. Moving from an environment where everyone was like me to an environment in which virtually no one was like me was an adjustment that I was unprepared to make. I felt like it wasn't my place to say anything, that I was overreacting to a joke. Chill, it was just a joke, I'd reassure myself. But no matter how much I tried to justify it, something didn't feel right. My experience is unfortunately not a unique one. During 2015, there were approximately 174 reported incidents of anti-Muslim violence and vandalism. This doesn't include cases that went unreported in other forms of Islamophobia, such as microaggressions, hostility, and situations like mine, where you are reduced to the punchline of a joke. In order to better understand what it means to be a Muslim living in an Islamophobic America, we will be discussing Islamophobia in a language everyone understands: laughter. There are 3 main components to a good joke: the meaning and delivery, the punchline, and how others react to it. Let's begin with meaning and delivery. What is Islamophobia anyway, since everyone seems to like making jokes about it? Well, as defined by the Oxford Dictionary, Islamophobia is the dislike of or prejudice against Islam or Muslims, especially as a political force. Like many jokes, it comes in different forms. Islamophobia can be manifested in physical actions such as murdering, harassing, or physically injuring an individual based on the fact that they are Muslim. There are also the psychological and emotional aspects of Islamophobia, where Muslims are subject to verbal assault, suspicious stares, and are just in general treated differently than non-Muslim would be treated. Whoa, wait. America is a progressive country. Everyone is welcome here. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's hard to ignore the rise of Islamophobia when President-elect Donald Trump's popularity rose almost 3 percentage points after he endorsed a database to track Muslims in the US. According to an NBC News poll, half of Americans supported banning Muslims from entering the United States. FBI reports show that anti-Muslim hate crimes are 5 times more common today than they were before 9/11. These facts don't sound progressive to me. They don't surprise me either. Islam is the second most practiced religion in the world, with 1.8 billion followers, yet many people don't know what the religion is all about. Most of what people hear come from what they see on the news, giving the public a terribly inaccurate view of what Islam really is, and allowing for subtle forms of Islamophobia to become normalized, even to some Muslims, which brings us to my next point, the punchline. Now that we've delved a little deeper into the meaning of the joke, let's talk about the punchline. Us, Muslims, we're what makes the joke. The Pew Research Center asked people to rate groups of people based on how they feel, using a thermometer on a scale from 0 to 100, with higher, warmer temperatures being more positive and lower, colder temperatures being more negative. The group with the lowest rating, with an average temperature of 40 degrees, was Muslims. When this is how the public feels about us, it isn't hard for these facts to haunt us whenever we leave our homes, for them to follow us while we're shopping, while at school, while at work, while in the public eye. Personally, I've become immune to the stares I receive wherever I go. Partly because I don't pay much attention to my surroundings, which can be a bad thing, and partly because I've just gotten used to it. However, whenever I am conscious of those around me, I feel people's eyes burning holes into my body. Some curious, others like they want to burn holes into my body. Whenever I am conscious of those around me, I become uncomfortable, I feel unwelcomed, and I get defensive. Sadly, we Muslims are so used to being the punchline that we kind of just assume the role of the oppressed. A few years ago, I went to a fundraising event, and they had a Muslim comedian by the name of Saeed Durra. And he told us a story about a time he was at a gas station. He was filling his car up with gas, and there was a guy across from him who was looking between Saeed's Boston Strong t-shirt and Saeed's face with this look going, Keep in mind, this was after the Boston Marathon bombings. After what Saeed thought was, once Saeed was taking in this situation, he threw down the hose and was like, what? You have a problem with my shirt? I can't wear this because I must be some terrorist, huh? Is that what you're thinking? Man, I was born in Detroit. I'm as American as you are. And, gets mad and goes off on this rant. After that, the guy just chuckles and says, nah, yeah, just don't look like the type of guy who runs marathons. So the punchline, if you have a really good punchline, then that's what makes the joke funny. If you have a good punchline, people are bound to laugh. Sometimes the laughter doesn't mean we're laughing at the joke. Sometimes laughter is our way of coping with traumatic events. The laugh we laugh is the, is this for real laugh? It's the, you've got to be kidding me right now laugh. It's like when I laughed at the joke the boy told me. I didn't laugh because I thought the joke was funny. I laughed because I didn't know how else to react. I laughed at the comedian's story not because it was funny. Sometimes we make jokes about things we struggle with. For example, we all make jokes about school, the workload, the stress, not because we think it's funny, but it's our way of dealing with it. We Muslims are so conditioned to feel judged, to feel unsafe whenever we leave our homes, to not be surprised when we're the ones randomly picked to be randomly searched. This isn't funny, it's concerning. I realized that sometimes a joke isn't supposed to make you laugh. It's supposed to make you think. It's supposed to make you read between the lines and question everything as you know it. Okay. What's the point of telling a joke if you don't have an audience to tell it to? Which brings us to our final component of a good joke, how others react to it. Now that we know this problem exists and the different forms it comes in and who the victims are, what can we do about it? Firstly, don't tell Islamophobic jokes. Trust me, they're not funny. Second, don't encourage Islamophobic behavior. If you see someone saying or doing something Islamophobic, stop them. Don't laugh at it, don't high-five them, don't stand around. It's okay if you don't feel comfortable calling them out in front of everyone. Talk to them privately, send them a text, do something. Finally, always take the phrase, don't judge a book by its cover to heart, and not only when it applies to you. Don't be so quick to judge an entire group of people based on the actions of a few. No one ever holds all Christians accountable for the actions of the KKK. No one ever holds all white people accountable for the actions of Dylan Roof, who walked into a church and killed 9 innocent black people, or Adam Lanza, who walked into Sandy Hook Elementary School and shot a classroom full of first graders. We didn't call them terrorists. We didn't ask them to leave the country. We didn't say this was a crime against all Americans. We treated them as individuals, and we said they acted alone and represented no one but themselves. Why is it so hard for us to extend this kind of thinking to someone who practices a different faith or has a different skin color? I guess you could say it's kind of funny that I have to be up here telling people how to act like decent human beings. You know, the same kind of funny someone means when they say, oh, I just think it's funny that, yeah, it normally isn't. If there's one piece of advice you take from this speech, let it be this. No, it isn't just a joke. People can make jokes about anything they want, but you should never be the punchline. Thank you.